India was ruled by Britain from 1858 to its independence short after the Second World War in 1947. Besides India, the colony also consisted Pakistan, Bangladesh, and parts of Burma, and was in the colloquially called the British Way. The Europeans had actually known to India since the Portuguese Vasco da Gama discovered the way to India with ship in 1498. India quickly became popular in Europe for its exotic commodities, mainly silk, cotton, tea, and spices. Therefore, Britain also traveled to India in the beginning of the 18th century, with interest for their commodities. They founded the British East India Company, which was a trading company which should extend the British trade with India. Other European countries as France and Portugal had also such companies. In the years from 1739 to 1858, Britain established more and more colonies in the country, which induced that France and Portugal lost their colonies and power in the country. Systematically and progressively, the British power enlarged, and in 1858, after British victories against the French colonies in the country, India became under British rule.
The Indian colony was the largest colony that has ever existed, and was also called the jewel in the British crown. India contributed as a material producer and was a big part of the British import and economy. And Britain had, all in all, a general large trade profit with India. Since the other colonies of the British Empire, the British also desired to spread the Western civilization and the way of life. Therefore, India was developed to a modern state with modern control equipment, legislation, and the possibility to collect taxes. Even though the British were minorities in India, they were perceived as legitimate rulers, and their educated and cultivated minds made them exalted. Over the years, they developed an interest in obtaining the British ideal among the more affluent Indians.
In India, they have different religions. The main religions are Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. 82% of the population are Hindus, 12% are Muslims, and 2.3% are Christians. Hinduism is the third largest religion in the world, and it is India's largest. There are over 900 million Hindus in India. The Hindus believe in rebirth. This means that after the soul has left the dead body, will it be born again in a new body. But only a good behavior leads to rebirth. The cow is a holy animal in India, which cannot be harmed. It is holy because the Hindu sees the cow as a symbol of Krishna, who is one of the most important gods in Hinduism. On pictures from India are there often cows which walks around in the traffic and the cars have to stop. Before the cow got protected, it was a sacrifice animal, and after that became the cow a symbol of the good and the feminine, and it got sacred because of the motherly qualities.
The India society are divided into so-called castes, which mean that every Indian person is a part of a caste, with other Indian people who has same status like themselves. The caste system are decides which social standards you are assigned to, which people you can marry, and so on. For example, if you are in the caste called Sudriyani, you need to work for all the other castes, which are higher ranging. It is impossible to change your position and caste level. India is also known to be the country of festivals. Every month of the calendar there is festival that everyone can enjoy. Every religion has its own set of festivals that the whole nation celebrates. Each festival has its own signature style of celebrations. Um, all festivals are unique in their own sense. The traditions and celebrations of the same festival also vary from one region to another. A popular thing to do at the festivals is to dance. Dances of Indian folk and tribal dances are simple dances and are performed to express joy. The dances are extremely simple with minimum of steps.
Mahatma Gandhi was born in 1869 in India. He came from a middle-class family. At the age of 13, he got married to a girl of same age. It was a marriage their parents arranged. Together they had 4 children. When Gandhi was 16, his father died. Gandhi was very particular not to eat meat because of a vow he had made with his father and the fact that he was Hindu. He took his education in England. There he was studying law, and while he was there, his mother passed away. In 1893, he went to South Africa to be a lawyer. He stayed in South Africa and led the fight for civil rights. He formed an organization called the Natal Indian Congress. In 1906, he organized his first protest against anti-Indian laws in South Africa. He had a lot of non-violent protests, demonstrations and strikes in South Africa, but he didn't avoid to be imprisoned. After 20 years in South Africa, he returned home to India. He was already known in some parts of the country for the work he had done in South Africa. He went on a 21-day fast to protest against the war between the Muslims and the Hindus, and also to protest against Great Britain not allowing India to be independent. His greatest accomplishment was his lifelong fight for the independence of India. His dream came true on August 1947. In 1948, a Hindu fanatic shot him to death. The Indian people call him Mahatma, which means great soul. He had a huge influence on many people, especially the Indian people, and he couldn't have achieved what he did if it wasn't for them. He also had an influence on many other world changers, such as Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela, especially the way he tried to defeat war without using violence. He is also famous for his quotes. Live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. Be the change that you want to see in the world. An eye for an eye will make the whole world blind.